Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to do a brief video to talk to you about the Virtuo EA. I've been meaning to do a review of it, but I don't own it, so all I can really do is an outside looking in sort of commentary on it. As always with all my videos, they're for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor. If you trade, you should expect to lose all the money you trade. In any kind of trading, it's extremely risky. Past performance does not indicate necessarily what future results will be. Be a big boy. You're responsible for yourself. Don't listen to what anyone else tells you. Make your own decisions. Anyway, about this EA, this is their website, virtuotrading.com. They have 3 EAs. They have a Virtuo EA, a multi-trading EA, and a Virtual Special EA. The second and third, I think, are fairly new. The first one has been around for a while. I think it came to my attention maybe 6 months ago, I would guess. The first thing probably that I could say about it, well, no, let's look at the price before we talk about it. It looks like they're charging £650, so I think that's approximately $800 US. But if you use their broker, then you can get it for £200 cheaper, so maybe about $250 cheaper. How do they do that, or why can they do that? Why can they charge less? Because if you use their broker, they're an affiliate of the broker, so the broker will pay them money as the broker makes money from you. The broker makes money from you by spreads, which means they change the price slightly and take money from you as you make trades. By commissions, which is usually based on how many lots you trade. So normally it'll be something like $6 commission per round turn lot. And then also with swaps. So if you hold a trade overnight, they'll charge you what are called swaps. Occasionally those will be positive, slightly positive, but normally those, for most currencies, those are negative depending on the direction you're going. Overall, you'll pay a lot more swaps than you'll make. So don't think of it as a money-making thing. It's a money-draining thing for the broker to take your money. So they can afford to charge you less because they expect the broker to make money on you. Now, for you, it forces you to use their broker, which I think is Pax4X, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know a lot about Pax4X. I think I looked at them along with a lot of other brokers a year or two ago and wasn't really impressed. I don't think they're a bad broker, but I don't think they're a good broker. And I always try to trade with what I consider to be good brokers. So by taking this lower price, if you're going to trade an EA like for a long time, you're probably not doing yourself a favor because you probably end up paying more to the broker in commissions and swaps and spreads than you would if you just purchased the EA outright, depending on how long you trade it. Now, if you trade it for 6 months, you're better off going with the cheaper option. So they claim 5 to 10% returns a month, which is pretty reasonable, I guess. So let's look at what they're doing. This is one of their accounts. So this account, we can see the numbers look pretty good. It's got an 8% return a month. In fact, look very good. Drawdown of 7%. But there are 2 things on the screen right now that really should send up your radar, your antenna, and tell you should be cautious. So what are the 2 things? The first thing is that if you look at the curve of this EA, it's not up and down and up and down and up and down. You can notice the EA essentially never takes losses. Instead, it's a smooth or relatively smooth curve up with a few jump ups, but never a down. So when you see something like this, you through your head should probably be running 2 words. One would be grid and the other would be Martingale. The next big warning sign here is that if you look at the pips, even though they've made money, they're in huge negative pips. So they've been running since August 11th until now, which is approximately, I don't know, that's about 6 months, I guess, 7 months. So I think that you can, sorry, I had to pause the video. I think you can assume that because they have big negative pips, there's some kind of martingaling going on. So what's martingaling? Just very briefly, there's so many types of martingaling, and this is not a definitive description of martingaling, but in this case, what it means, I think, is that they will take a trade, and if it is going poorly, so the price is going against them. They'll take another trade, but the second trade will be much bigger, typically double the price or the lot size of the first trade. And then if it continues to go against them, they might take another trade. And as the trades continue to go against them, or the price continues to go against them, they'll continue to take bigger and bigger trades, usually each time doubling their position, hoping that at some point the price will retrace a little bit, allowing them to capture a profit when they close all the trades at the same time. So that's basically how it works. Now, martingale can make any strategy look good. You can have the worst strategy in the world, the worst entry in the world, and it can still look good if you use martingale techniques. The reason is that in a way, it hardly matters if the market goes against you. You could have a monkey do the entry, and if you have martingale technique on the subsequent trades, even the monkey's entry is going to end up looking good. The problem with martingale is that it's because it keeps taking bigger and bigger bets, bigger and bigger risk, at some point it's bound to fail. We don't know if that's going to be today or if that's going to be in 10 years, but at some point it's bound to fail. So what happens when it fails is you lose everything in your account. Your account is blown. So if you're going to play a strategy that's martingale, you really need to probably withdraw profits frequently. So maybe once a month, once a week, take your profits out of the account until you have taken out enough to match your initial investment. And then at that point, you can either leave your profits in or continue to take them out and harvest gains. I would do the latter. I would continue to take profits out. So the idea is, if you're lucky enough that the account doesn't blow, before you double the money in the account, or make twice, not double the money in the account, but make twice as much, or make as much as you initially invested and withdraw it, so you're risk-free at that point. You hope that you get lucky enough to make it to that point with martingaling. So martingaling's very dangerous. There are other types of martingaling that I like better than a straight martingale. There's delayed martingaling, there's partial martingaling, etc. So there are other ways that I think martingaling can be a useful technique, but straight martingaling is no ifs, ands, or buts, in my opinion, very, very dangerous. So despite the money that this account is making, oh, and by the way, you can see that the drawdown looks fairly low here. There are ways in Myfxbook to manipulate what your drawdown shows. One way, for example, is you just turn off updates to Myfxbook when your drawdown starts to get big. And then you turn back on the updates to Myfxbook when your drawdown has gone down again. So there's a company, LQDFX, I think that's the name of them. They do this a lot. If you go look at their EAs, they'll very commonly be turned off. They won't be updating Myfxbook. And the reason is they want to camouflage or hide their true drawdown on their EAs because they don't want you to know. Not a very fair way to play, in my opinion. So be forewarned about that. I don't know if they're doing that with this account. Honestly, I haven't watched it closely enough to know. What else can we look at here? It looks like this account is traded 3,200 times in about 6 months. That is a lot of trading, I would say. That's probably about 500 trades a month. So an interesting thing when we look at this account is that they have paid no commission. Why have they paid no commission? I suspect it's because it's a US cent account, or it's because they have some arrangement with the broker. I don't normally play cent accounts, so I'm not sure if that's why they don't pay commission. But if you're trading this on a regular account, the chances are this guy's traded 283 lots. That's a lot of lots. If it's $6 round turn, then you're looking at about, what is that? Maybe $1,800 off of your profit. So here we have profit of 11,000, let's say. So that would knock your profit down to 9,000. So it's almost 20%, maybe let's say 18% less profit, something like that. So even though this account shows the profit, in a real account that's not a cent account, you'd be paying the commissions and you would be making less profit than it shows here. The other important thing here, or interesting thing, I think, is that the expectancy per trade is about -3 or -2.9 pips. when you have negative expectancy, it means a couple of things. Number one, you are paying the broker a lot, so you're paying the broker probably a good amount of commissions and spread to make very few pips or no pips or even negative pips. And when you're in a negative situation, the only way I know of, I can't think of another way to do it sitting here, is to Martingale. That's the only way to make money. So I think this is not an EA that I would buy. Would I consider using this on sort of a YOLO hero account? Let's say I put $1,000 in the account and I kept taking the profits out every month, hoping that it would make the 1,000 back and then continue to make money. And by the way, I don't even know if this can be played with $1,000, but it might need more principal to start. I'm not sure, more balance, but I would consider that if I owned the EA, but I don't think I would be interested in purchasing the EA based on what I see here. So hope that helps. If you are playing this EA, I would really not like to see, I mean, personally, I would not want to put a lot of money on this EA. This would be the kind of EA that I would put a small portion of my trading funds into and then withdraw the profits as I go, hoping that I don't get lucky, that I get lucky and don't get unlucky until I've made my money back. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you.